Right, we're talking golf bags today. Me and Matt are going to talk you through
Golf
bags. Yeah, kind of what's in our bag, but more like how you can lose shots by, I mean, I get it with students where they're like just a little lazy with what's in their bag or not really thinking it through. So what gains, what losses are being had by really simple ideas that we see people get wrong in their golf bag.
Okay.
Like 15 clubs, I knew someone once.
That's a gain, that's not a loss.
Right, before we start this video, if you like this video and you hit that like button down there and you subscribe to this channel, one lucky winner who posts a comment telling us what the iron makeup they play is. So is it like pitching wedge to whatever, in those comments down below. One lucky subscriber, like a commenter, can win 3 dozen Shrexon golf balls. 3 dozen. That'd last him like 3 rounds, wouldn't it?
One trip. Drift a little. That'll be good.
Kick'll do. Clean but fine. That's worked really. Oh, get in.
Oh.
Fin to win.
Short online.
Short online, obviously. Let's kick this off then with a little bit of putter ideas.
Yeah.
I definitely see a lot of standard length putter lengths come in through the studio.
Yeah, like old school was like 35, wasn't it? And now it's a bit shorter now. I think 34.
You are seeing more 34s.
But I'm like 33, and I was like shorter than that. So
yeah,
definitely thinking about the length will help.
And also, I think as well, not just that, I think, go on, you tap your birdie in, sir.
Yeah,
look at my trace is pathetically short, isn't it? Oh, get up.
Get up, Italy's making me hit it short.
I still would say that putter fitting as well is probably one of the most unutilized things, because like with any of my fitting ideas, I say to people is that it can teach you a bit about what you do.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't have to be a sell.
We got Sam Putt Lab, haven't we? And like I use it for lessons, and it just is a massive eye opener for lots of people having lessons and testing out different shaped putters. Like I've got a big mallet putter here. You've got a bladed one.
Yeah. Different lines, different shapes. What is it that's light in the lemon?
Different hangs.
Yeah.
So toe hangs and face balance, those sorts of things.
I would definitely say wins in the putter department. Length, shapes, lie, loft. Like I remember Kevin Harper used to play on our channel, had like a really low lofted putter because he presented loft. Yeah. Didn't want to change his stroke because he liked it.
Yeah.
It's no different to the driver, it's just maybe not as cool, so people forget about it. Hybrids.
Oh, hybrids.
Something very close to my heart.
Brinky, you mean?
They've got to blend, they've got to make sense in your set. So many people have a hybrid. So I have 2 hybrids. So I've got a 22 degree, which really blends with my 6 iron. So these two can very much cross over on distance, but this one goes 10, 15 yards further.
Yeah.
Can go 25 yards further as well.
Yeah.
And then I've got a 18 degree, which is a hybrid 3 plus, which I will do a review on because it's massive. So this one is really bridging up to my Fairway Wood and towards that 22.
So you're built like the gaps I see in my lessons, like they bunch up generally.
Oh yeah, well that's the big thing, and we'll talk about that in another section definitely, as in they get close, don't they?
Yeah, and the hybrids I think help space that gap out again and help you get to the longer clubs. Like I've even gone to hybrids, mainly because you hit rinky so close, but
you were getting fed up of it.
Because I'm the same. I used to be 4 iron, that's gone. 1 because I had 15 clubs in my bag, but I've got my 4 hybrid as well, which then makes it my 5 iron, 4 hybrid, 3 hybrid, 4 wood. So yeah, it's really a nice sort of blend all the way up now.
Yeah, for me, hybrid game, and we'll talk more about this part of the bag because it's really important. Getting the right blend, making sure they fit to your style of play. I play my 22 from so many different lies, there'd be no point going from my 19 because that is more selective lies. This one's like a wedge for me, so I have it set up in a loft that allows me to play from rough, downhill, uphill. It's like a saving club. So many people just have, oh, I need to have a hybrid. What loft you got? I don't know. You know, they just have a hybrid. Come on, get your hybrid synced with your club really neatly, and they need to do that That's my 5-iron and that's my hybrid.
Yeah.
And then my next hybrid's there as well. They're crossing over as well as edging ahead of each other. Massive gains in this department. Most people's bags who come through the studio always can work on this bit, and they've often got some funny lofts going on. Someone's got some freshies on.
Do you like them?
Yeah, I do, yeah. They So Iron Cup ones, aren't they?
All Ryder Cup, Team Europe,
Team
you know.
Europe.
We'll dominate the Ryder Cup, you know, again.
This will go out afterwards and that will be comment central. Fresh grips, I mean, it makes a massive difference. Golf clubs are not cheap, and I've tested very old irons back to like Ping i2s, and anyone who's seen those videos, like those Ping i2s perform pretty good. Putting fresh grips on them makes them feel almost as good as new clubs. Fresh grips might be an answer to you not having to spend a fortune. I mean, sets of irons are up near £1,000 now. Fresh grips, what, £100 to change at a guess?
Yeah, probably £10 a grip, something like that, isn't it? So
and
yeah,
if you can do it yourself,
150
cheaper.
quid, yeah. And yeah, well, I fitted these myself at home. So
Well, you are a pro, sir.
yeah, well, there's a tutorial on my Instagram and stuff as well if you want to learn.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, you'll definitely do
I
that.
hate gripping. It was one of my biggest hates.
I just think it gives the club a new lease of life.
It absolutely does make it
I used to
feel...
do it like monthly with my putter just because it made it feel nice again.
Yeah,
So it's just
yeah.
a new lease of life, I think. as
Joking
well.
aside as well, we've done tests with old rubbish grips, and you can't swing as fast when the grip is losing its traction, if you
Yeah.
like. You just can't hang on to it.
And I think that's also important, getting the right grip for what conditions you're always in. So like a sticky grip, or if it's always wet where you are, or whatever.
Yeah, well, the
something to think
Americans
about.
often have those really sticky
Yeah.
ones that are rubbish in the wet, and I
Yeah.
think, does it not rain? Obviously it doesn't much in Florida, does it?
No. Am I getting over that? I don't know. if I am.
Always.
Little
There's a good
hooky
effort,
wedge.
that. That's a
Hooky-
really good shot.
Oh my word.
Sir,
That's the new grip.
you spoil us. Gains in driver, Matthew. Do you reckon they can gain in driver?
Well, yeah, I get lots of gains in driving lessons. The loft is important.
Definitely understanding what loft performs best for you and how to get the most out of it. Weight of shaft, length of shaft.
Head
You
design.
respond to flexes of shaft.
Yeah.
Head design, so low spin, high spin. Basically, I would say this is the market that's giving you the most perceived ideas of performance.
Yeah.
Draw bias, you know, you've got so many. I would say in time, you're going to see less and less people who can gain in this department. I don't know the figures, but a lot of people are now getting fit for this, or certainly more than were 5 years ago.
Maybe the only gains is you and your arms and legs and stuff nowadays,
Yeah,
eh?
absolutely. The other thing as well, I think, with drivers that needs to be you need to bear in mind, for me, is that you get two, I would say this is a generalisation, but there's almost two groups of people. Don't be perfect.
Didn't even get over the bunker.
That's a tap. Where there are people who can gain,
Yeah.
you know, there are still people that come to us and they've got like, you know, what is that?
Yeah.
Why are you using that? At the same time, you get the group who have tried every driver and they're still searching in there and their driver is fit, but they get lost in that answer as much as the answer's there.
Yeah. I see that a lot. Like they think, like just a change of swing, a change of angle of attack, and dynamic loft delivery is going to gain you that 20 yards that you want. Changing that driver and not changing your technique is like just digging yourself a like nice little money pit that you could put somewhere else.
Yeah, like I get 12-degree drivers come in that should be using 10s or 9s. That's 3 degrees.
Yeah.
We get loads of students who come through who are delivering 22 degrees of dynamic loft and they should be delivering 5.
Yeah.
15. 5 would be impressive there.
Joe Miller's not here.
So 15, so that's 7 degrees.
Yeah.
You're not going to find 7 degrees in a driver club fit. Those
Yeah.
people are often the ones who are stuck.
In the
I'm going to try
cycle.
that driver and I need this shaft. And that. So I think there's both sides of it. You can equally get lost in thinking the driver's the answer, then you don't actually look at the real answers.
Yep.
But at the same time, there's people playing nice golf and they get it a bit high and they have a bit too much curvature, and that can be reduced with good fittings as well. Driver, there's still gains to be had, just understand the driver you have, like why you have it. That's the bigger game for me. Fairway Woods.
Interesting club, Fairway, I think.
Well, lots of people argue they're a useless club for amateurs, like they're just not really a used club that much, because we've got data, we can put data up of Fairway Wood ideas off the tee
Versus
to driver.
Yeah.
So if you're not someone who's using it off a tee, it becomes even more obsolete. And then in every Fairway Wood video I've ever done, the biggest thing I say to people, and it still just resonates with so many people I see, is that they get like the 15-degree Fairway Wood and they can't play it off the ground. And they very rarely play it off a tee because it's a smaller head. So like, you know, when you get nice skies on a driver, there's still club up here.
Yeah, yeah.
But with this one, you're right to the limits of the club. So you just kind of think, why have this? I mean, I've got something which I need to do a review of, maybe in the comments down below if you want to see the review on this. And I know other companies make this club as well. So this is a Highwood Wood 3 Plus.
A Highwood.
So it's a Highwood.
A Highwood 3 Plus.
Highwood.
I quite like that name.
So you can see the size of it.
It's getting closer.
It's
to
big,
the fairway,
but look
isn't
at this end. This makes a massive difference. I mean, just look at, I don't think you've seen this club up front.
Oh yeah, that's like length of face wider and deeper, so higher MOI, I guess, and all sorts going on. And it's definitely, what degree is it?
18.
18 to be that much longer is quite impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're going to be getting some extra distance possibly out of that length too.
So this really blends with our hybrid talk that we did earlier, and it blends with your whatever your least lofted club from the fairway is, whatever that is. Let's say 7 out of 10 times we have students come in and I think there's room for improvement in there.
Yeah.
It's very unthought out. It's very unspecific to their needs and their game.
Yeah.
It's specific to what golf says a fairway wood is, 15-degree fairway. Because this is really interesting. Look, your free wood.
It's not a free wood.
Well, that's the point, isn't it?
It's a forward.
Matt has this little, so his free wood is 16.5.
Yeah.
And it says 4 on the bottom.
Yeah.
My free wood is 15, but it's actually 14. So we're 2.5 difference in delivery of loft.
Yeah.
I deliver on average between 17 to 20 degrees of loft with this club.
Yeah.
Like it's hard for me to take loft off, I'm an adder.
Yeah.
You are probably delivering 16, 17 degrees of loft.
And I'm hitting down on it and things
Which
as
is-
well,
yeah.
so the launch is lower, and that's why I'm trying to add loft to my free wood rather than changing my technique. I'm just using the club available to me to just do it.
So think about it, you've got 2 pro golfers, loosest term pro, we go, don't think of players when we say that. As in, we spent our life learning how to make other people better because we weren't able to do it. But we are very funky in our lowest lofted fairway club.
Yeah.
Yet the amateurs often come who deliver mega funk pass faces, lofts, loads of loft, very often have that standard fairway wood.
Yeah.
This club could be dropped, it's not a problem if you don't use it. Like, just get rid of it, that's not a problem. Or certainly get it suited to your game. Matt is suiting this to his delivery, I'm suiting this to mine. I'm always going lower lofted in fairway woods if I can help it. Matt's always going the other way. Get them working for you. Iron makeup, so like least lofted, most lofted iron, and even a little bit of blending on what kind of styles you have. So my bag's quite unique because I often get 2 clubs. I'm bunched up down here at the wedges, so I have 2 wedges. I've had 2 6-irons before, which we'll talk about. Matt, you're a little bit more traditional, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm, well, traditional, like, I would say is like 3 to wedge, isn't it? But I'm 5 to a wedge now, and a wedge is definitely filling the gap of the stronger lofts. So the pitching wedge in 52, there's a bit of a gap, so I whack an a wedge in there.
Yeah.
And then talking about our set makeup in the hybrids, I stop at a 5 now because I've got my 4 hybrid, which now blends in.
I guess the 5 is closer a 4 than it ever has been as well.
Yeah, the stronger lofts as well. It's more of a 4-iron in old money.
And something I've really enjoyed, I mean, I've gone much chunkier in irons and I'm actually really enjoying that. And this 6-iron basically is a 5-iron, which blends very much with my hybrid, like you say. But then that means I do have to be careful down the bottom end, which is why I see 2 pitching wedges.
Yeah.
This is basically like my 8 wedge.
Yeah.
So really, it's loft gapping.
Yeah.
Than it is number gapping. And the biggest thing I see with people down the lens is they get to a 7-iron and everything starts to bunch up. like you do gap fits. It's 7 or 8 iron. There's a tipping point. Like I always, when I was doing them lots, I used to think, where are they going to fall off the cliff?
Yeah.
So they, you do wedges and they hit 3 or 4 shots and you get a, that's a decent,
That's good, yeah.
like
yeah.
we get an idea there.
Yeah.
And then you get near the 7 on a 6 lane up to 20, 30 shots to get some kind of reasonable comparable strikes.
Yeah.
And you just think, oh, we've fallen off the cliff.
Yeah.
So even if you stop at 7s and then go into hybrids, like my dad's got like a 26-degree hybrid. He talks to me about, like he goes, oh, shouldn't have this. But you hit it really well. What shouldn't you? I shouldn't hit this ball on the green.
I shouldn't have this, and it's my favourite
Yeah,
club.
I know. People got to get away from that.
And what I see is generally manufacturers getting much better at combo sets as well, aren't
Totally.
they? So like a fatter 5 iron and chunkier, and then making it more of a specialist, blended into your specialist wedges. I definitely think manufacturers are doing that better, if not really well at the moment.
Yeah, it's helping people make some better choices, because as me as a golf pro selling clubs, like this sounds bad, but it's much easier for me to sell you just a straight set.
Free to wedge, bang, bosh.
Why do I have to watch you hit clubs with different lofts? That takes more time. I don't make that much money selling clubs, so just demand that you go through your bag and understand it a bit more if you're working, because it's definitely, certainly maybe in the stores, it'll be much easier to go, oh, that 7 iron's good, we'll go like pitching wedge to 5 in that one.
Yeah.
If you don't hit the 5, you might go like no further than the 7 with lofts and launches. So do try and test, and I know it's tough, and I really think manufacturers need to push harder to give in better fitting equipment so people can test the different lofts.
Yeah.
It's all great selling more combo sets, but if you haven't got a 5 iron for me to test in the chunky one and you're only giving me 7 and 6 irons in a standard one, I think that's a bit of a shame. Loft and bounce. I do think bounce is maybe the most most least understood thing with amateurs, but yet one of the things where I think you'll see the least amount of games. So I do think you can get bounces that help. So great idea, just a real rule of thumb when it comes to trying to work out what bounce you need. You want to work out what's your worst part of your chipping. So let's say I hate bare lies. Maybe more bounce, bigger soles might help on the bare lies a little bit, get, not so diggy. But then when you try that wedge with that bounce, you want to put it in a situation where you're average and good and make sure it doesn't affect that. So you want to try and make gains in your worst part with different soles, different grinds, how you might sit the club on the ground, those kind of ideas, but make sure it doesn't take away from your better part. So if you get a big sole on there, and then there's like a medium lie that you like and you kind of get a bit diggy and that's your best strike and it doesn't work as well, and then you're not actually gaining one and losing in the other. Loft, I think, is something that's much more key to helping people play better wedge shots.
Yeah, and I think again it's that mix of like progression, isn't it, from your gap wedge, and then have nice steady gaps down to whatever loft you want.
Because you're 2 wedges, aren't you?
Yeah, and I made you change,
yeah,
too, didn't I?
And the biggest advantage with 2 wedges, as it'll lead into our next point, is if you get less wedges in your bag, and I think wedge companies try to oversell how many wedges you need, it allows the other end, which we'll talk about, to get stronger possibly. And that's why I've weakened off my wedge count.
Yeah.
To try and get the other side a little stronger. Because what are your 2 lofts? You're 56 and something, aren't you?
I'm 52, 58, thanks.
Well, that's exactly where I am as well.
I do, before we quickly go on, think that if you are someone that struggles with wedges and just need to work on one technique to get a good strike, then having more options of wedges is good.
Okay.
So you can change that trajectory.
Yeah.
Whereas if you are good with wedges and you're able to manipulate loft, then 2 option is absolutely fine.
Yeah, I like that as well. And the thing back towards bounce for me, I mean, I'm playing a 52-degree wedge here. If I play it standard, this club has whatever bounce on it is. So this is a 9-degree bounce.
Yeah.
But look, I want to play a low 52 now. This hasn't got 9-degree bounce.
Yeah.
I mean, my handle's like this.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I want to play one where I actually use a bit more of that bounce. The handle's quite level and I've just twisted the face a little bit.
Yeah.
And now I've activated more. So your bounce is so dynamic. So look how low that one's going. I mean, I didn't use any feeling of bounce there.
Oh.
Don't go in. Not with that ball. The Strixon's meant to go in. That's where I think people can get a little bit too into bounces. The loft is where your real wins are, I think, in this part of your bag. Shape, feels, those kind of ideas. A little bit of understanding bounce is fine, but if you don't, it's not a problem, because if you are hitting lower or higher ones, which most people do play some variation, the bounce is dynamic, it's moving. Grinds possibly.
Yeah.
You know, so if you do open up, make sure there's a bit of relief in the heel.
Yeah.
If you're someone who stands up a lot, you might want a little bit more relief in that toe, those kind of ideas. But I see less gains in the makeup, more in the loft.
Yeah.
And understanding how to use those lofts in your set. What about branding, brand alliances? Should you stick with one brand? You're like a fanboy or girl of a brand, or you know, should you mix your bag? Because it would be fair to say most manufacturers now would cater for almost every category of golfer. So you could stay within a brand
if you wanted,
and go chunky irons, low spin driver, chunky wedge, thin wedge, different shapes of putters possibly. But I mean, certain companies are specialising in certain products, like Scotty Cameron putters, for instance, have a certain je ne sais quoi.
Oh yeah.
You know, Callaway drivers and a bit of everything. Yeah. Strixon, balls, and maybe a little bit more irons, not even the ones I game now.
Cleveland definitely wedges.
Cleveland wedges,
yeah.
TaylorMade driver. Did they kind of I mean, TaylorMade irons are strong now as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, My Golf Spy, if you don't follow them, I like the guys and girls at My Golf Spy, you know, they often say the chances of you getting everything in one brand is slim. I don't actually agree with that. I think it can, but I get what they're also saying. Like they're actually trying to empower their people to go and test, go and find out what's best. Brand alliance, what do you reckon?
I think if you're not sponsored or whatever, which most of the people down the lengths aren't going to be, like experimenting with different manufacturers just to see what's out there is a good idea. Like I used to walk into a shop and pick a club up and I love the look of that. Oh, but it's not that. Oh, but I like it, so I'm going to get it. So I don't think that there's a rule that you need to stick with one. There's so many good clubs out there. Go and test and see what's right for you and your set makeup.
210 middle.
Tough yardage for lots of golfers.
This is a key difference between better players and worse golfers. This is such a big difference. So we're going to do a little challenge, closest to pin or green, because we can easily miss the green from this situation as well. But let me talk you through my bag from this distance. I can hit easy 6.
Yeah.
I reckon I could hit really hard 7 and get close.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't fly it. It's going to rely on a bit of bounce. And I could very easily hit a soft hybrid. So it's like 2.5 clubs I've got from this option.
Which is lots.
And let's say it's on the flat. Let's say it's 2. So from where my bag is, it's 214. And let's say that's flat, it's 214. I could go punchy, runny 6, knowing there's trouble at the back, hit it 200 and be 14 yards short. Yeah. Like I don't want to go over the back, or it's a links course and it's running. I could hit that pretty hard, fly it all the way. And I could hit that medium and then take a little off if it was downwind. So again, up in this department, I've got as many clubs as if you go down to say 100 yards, where I could hit hard 58, medium 52, very soft pitching wedge, not the other pitching wedge. See what I mean? Yeah. Stacking your bag up at this end to be really strong as you can make it for golfers. And I mean strong as in you've got options. You can play, so the 6 iron's going to go low and run. Yeah. The hybrid, I can float it up really high. The hybrid, I can hit from the rough. The 6 iron, I'm not going to hit from the rough, or I'm going to run it. So I've just got options from situations. Yeah. So many people who do just have the hybrid. Let's say you've got a 19-degree hybrid. Well, I'm buggered now, aren't I?
That's it.
So nearest the green.
All right, what are you going to hit? That's quite the selection.
I don't know. I feel like I'm in between clubs.
Got too many. What are you going for?
6, little punchy, like. Whew.
Yeah. 6.
No, I'm going to go fair width. I do this on purpose just to wind you and Ray up.
It works.
I know, that's why I do it. More club, but soft is what I'm going for. The greenkeeper just cutting the fringe. I'm just going to let him. I don't want a little tip, no matter where you're trying to stack your bag. You know, if you're trying to get it top end heavy, bottom end, definitely more top end heavy for lots of people is such a good play. Don't kill greenkeepers. They're lovely and we need them. Yeah,
without them,
like I'd be in the rough constantly.
You wouldn't find many balls.
Amen.
Hybrid
left
soft
hand
cut.
Bunker, cutty.
Oh, it's
perfect. It's over the left hand. I didn't quite cut, but I reckon that's on.
That's probably left side, maybe back, I reckon. I think you should have stuck and not
good
gone.
Good shot, Mark.
I'm going to
6 iron.
Cutty 6, because I really want this shot to start working.
See, I'm
Oh,
a more...
yeah.
That's good, isn't it? Oh, he's hit it right at it.
It's straight, but it's a little left. Oh, no, that is only a little left.
So I'm here past the pin on the left side. From 200 I would happy. The 6-iron would also work and maybe be better, but I would be bouncing so it would scare. There's bunkers here where you have to come from. Matt hitting a 6-iron and having that power allows him to have a slightly different makeup possibly. I mean, that's just a really good shot, Matt.
Yeah, thank you.
Stack the high side, that is a win. And you've stacked the high side of your bag quite nicely too, and that is a win as well.
That's a win.
I think as well on this point, which is interesting, people do spend a lot of time on this.
Yeah.
And then they get a hybrid.
Yep.
And then they spend a lot of time hitting 7s in fits.
Yeah.
And then they get whatever at this. It's this 200-yard point.
Yeah, it's literally these two, isn't it?
Which
and
is
then
so
it's like,
defining.
Blah.
Yeah.
I'll just fill it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're actually getting that bit right.
Yeah.
Could have massive benefits to your scoring. You've won that.
Have I? Not again.
That one.
Not again.
Last point. And if you've got more points that you think of where people make mistakes or you've made mistakes in your bag, maybe in those comments down below. Last point for me, and it ties all the points together, which is get fit. And see a custom fit, and I've said this for so long and I will keep saying it because I strongly believe this. See a custom fit as a chance to work out why you're the kind of golfer you are and where you can make changes in you or the equipment to be better. Don't just use it as a sales pitch, you know, don't just use it as something that you do when you're going to buy a club. Use it as something when you're going to buy a club and you want to understand why that club might make you a bit better. So Matt would need to understand his free wood loft is very different to mine because it's to do with how you deliver. So many custom fits I did when I was fitting, it turned into a lesson more than a fit, and then we came back and did a fit.
Yeah, you've said it all for a long time that fits and lessons are kind of the same thing.
Well, I see him basically, any lesson that comes to me, if I'm not looking at their equipment and seeing any free gains in there, it's not a lesson, is it?
No.
Lessons aren't just about this.
Yeah.
Lessons are about what this does, of how it delivers this.
Yeah.
Well, if this constantly points over there because the ferrule's bent,
Yeah.
I'm not just going to build a swing where they have to go like this, am I? I'm going to go, your club's broke, we should give you one that's not broke.
Yeah.
And that's obviously an extremely, but your club could be broke in the fact that you've got like 12 degrees of loft and you need 9. I'm a coach. If you can get better, why would I not use every tool? Otherwise you're not coaching, is it? Ah, this driver's fit for me, Matt. That's a really good video, that.
That is. I hope everyone's enjoyed it.
I think the challenge bit was a bit off. You know, that challenge we did seemed a little bit wrong, but everything else.
And don't forget that they can win some golf balls.
Oh, free does.
Hit that like button, hit that
Free does of
subscribe
those. Look at that go. They arrow these Strixons.
Oh, nice.
Arrow balls, ladies, and that was an old man's pick up of a tee, wasn't it? You see that? 2-leg bend.